Hey everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So today I'm going to show you how to make a cute little card using my new A2 Moving Scenes die set. So this is the set here. You've got everything you need and I'll talk you through all of that in a moment. I'm going to be using it with the Over the Rooftops stamp and die set. And then I'm going to also use one of the sentiments from the new Christmas sentiments along with the papers there. So I've got everything here all cut and ready to go. So this is the main plate, which is this one here, and you'll see it cut these 3 slots. So you can build any scene you want. You can have something moving in each of these slots. You could maybe just use one of them. 2 of them I think is what I'm using today, but you can also double up, so you could have loads of things moving. Once you get familiar with it, it's a really easy one to adapt, and it will work with lots of other things in your stash, not just the Christmas theme here that I'm using. So because I'm adding the pattern paper, I've cut it in white cardstock first. This is a 300 GSM white card, and then I've also cut it in the paper because the paper on its own just isn't enough to hold the mechanism. So just stick that together, and when you add the glue, just make sure you move these pieces so that they're not getting stuck together at all. Then I've got my A2 card blank here, and I've cut the matte layer, and you'll see it's got this lovely little punched detail all the way around there, and I've just stuck that on top, and you'll see that will sit perfectly on there. Now on my channel, Made to Surprise on YouTube, I will have this orientation on my channel as well, but I think it's going to go on to this CraftStash channels first. All of the ones that I've shared at the moment, I think, are using it this way, which is how I designed it, and kind of just most of the scenes were built this way. But you can also have it this way, so the pull tab comes from the top, but you could also have it so the pull tab comes from the bottom. So I just wanted to show you, more ways to use this one. So this is all your mechanism part here in your pull tab. So the pull tab I've cut twice in white card, and I've stuck them together again, just nice and strong so it's easy to use. And then I'm using acetate strips. So this one here just passed through using acetate or cardstock, up to you. I've got my 3 strips there. Like I said, I probably won't use all 3. And then this is all for the mechanism here. So you want to cut 1 of each of the circles. This is your disc here. Everything will move. The strips will move off of this. You've got your paper brad, and then this here will secure it onto the card. So that's everything you need to cut. And then what I like to do before I'm going to add all of that is I like to just play around and build the scene, because it's quite easy to lay it all down first of all. So using that stamp set, you've got this lovely treetop stamp here. And then what I thought I would do, and this one's really funny because you get Santa who's fallen down the chimney or stuck in the chimney. And then you've got Santa on his sleigh as well, but the reindeer are separate because it looks quite funny that they've kind of left without Santa. So I'm going to have the reindeer moving possibly out of this end one, and then I think I'm going to have Santa moving just there on the first one. So he's going to kind of be wiggling, and they should be moving kind of like this. And then I was thinking about where I could have my sentiments. So what I'm going to do with this one is add in this white strip. So I've cut this down so it's the same length as the pink piece there. The width is up to you, it depends on your sentiment. You might not want to add this, but adding the sentiment against the pink was just going to look a bit too busy. But I think having the rooftops on the top there, and then I was going to have the sentiment ho ho ho. Jingle All the Way would work quite well as well, but I think this will fit just nicely in there. And I might use silver for that one as well. So ho ho ho. And then I'm going to have one of these Christmas trees either side. And then the pull tab will be in here. Oh, you also get your little arrow as well in the set. I'll just sit that in there. It will line up with the edge of the card. And then the little arrow, you get the die for it. It's the tiniest little arrow, but that will just sit on top of there. So it's quite nice that you can lay everything down until you're happy. So I think that looks really sweet, and it should look quite fun when it's all together. So just prepare that. I'm going to heat emboss the sentiment and stuff. I'll do that later on. So pop all of this to one side, and you want all of your mechanism pieces here. Now I'm going to just stick the arrow down. I say it in all of the videos, but get that stuck down now or as soon as you cut it, because it's the kind of thing that you will lose. Okay, so with this circle here, the 2 that are closest together, you want those towards the bottom. The right hand side is the one that you're going to attach the pull tab to. Now you want to use the 5mm brads. If you already got a few of my collections, especially the ones with that needed brad, you'll probably already have these in your stash. The good thing with this card is it doesn't matter what colour, because you're not going to see any of them. They all get hidden. And I've said in a few of my videos, I've got a ton of this kind of rusty orange colour, so I've been using those on a lot of mine. So you need 4 in total, but I will probably only need 3 because I'm not going to have all of these being used. So take one of your brads, the hole there, and then, like I said, the right hand side of those 2 that are together, open it up. Okay, so it's going to be like this. Next, I want to add my strips. Now, depending on what ones you put them on, you're going to get a different kind of movement. Because it's going to go in like this, once the paper brad's in there, this is going to push down, move up, push down, move up, push down. So I'm going to add my, if I pop it back this way, I'm going to add my 2 strips to this one and this one here. I just realised I've not added the paper brad yet. To be honest, you can add it before or after. So I'll attach these still and then we'll add the paper brad. It's going to be like that when I pop it behind the card. So now take your paper brad and you're going to push down these little strips here. So just push them down so they come, so they're folded down like so. And you're going to pop them through. So just make sure they're pinched together there, and you're just going to feed them through like so. Open it up, and you want to add the tiniest amount of glue just on the top there. So like so, like so. And then take this one, and this will sit perfectly over the top. Now what you want to make sure is when you pinch the 2 circles, the small ones together, that this bigger circle can move. So just test that, because if it doesn't, then the glue's kind of come out the side probably and stuck to it. You want to make sure that that can rotate. So next I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to pop a little bit of foam adhesive on the top of that circle. If you've got any little circle like dots, foam dots, you could use those, but you also want to double this foam up because you need to make it taller than the brads, otherwise it'd just be wonky. So I'm just going to stick one bit down there and then this over the top. So there is dimension with this card, but it will sit nicely still in one of my bouncy envelopes, or it'll go in a box envelope quite easily. So you want to have this facing up and these all facing off to the left. And you need to have it so that you can see all of the arrow, and you want to line up the width of the finger pull with the width of the pull tab there, and then just place that down. You'll be able to feel the foam. I can feel it just there. I'm going to make sure it sticks within this area here. Okay, so now if I flip it over, you can see when you move it how this all moves. So whatever's attached to those is going to move. So going back to the design, I want to have, I think it was, he was going to be on this one, wasn't he, the first one. So I'm going to have the bottom one coming out of the first one here, and then this one coming out of the very end. So now you can really see, because we're going to guide them kind of to stay roughly in that kind of position. This one might have to come up. Just thinking Santa might be better moving in the middle one, because I don't think you're really going to see. This one's going to be a bit hidden, I think. So I might, okay, I think I'm going to go for bottom and middle. I'm just looking there, and I think that's going to be the best in terms of giving me the movement. I can still move them as well, because I'm going to decorate it all still without attaching it to the card. So I'm going to now start laying all this down, and then when we flip it over and go to add the foam at the end, I'll show you how you can kind of guide these to keep them in the position that you want. Okay, so I've stuck everything down on the bottom there. Just make sure whenever you're sticking anything down that these pieces are all free. You're going to trim them right down in a minute. So I want to have Santa just there. So I'm going to add a tiny a little bit of red tape, or just double-sided tape. If you're using the acetate, then I'd recommend a tape. If these are cardstock, then you could just put a little bit of glue here. You need a little bit. All of the little images are very small. Now that's probably going to be, let's just check how high, make sure that doesn't stick in there. So it's going to come up. So that's going to be at its highest point. So I want to keep that and then stick it on. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now I can just trim off all of that excess. And then you want to do the same for your other pieces. So now I'm thinking, do I have it stuck there actually? Yeah, I think I am. So I'm going to just take that one out because I don't want you seeing, even though it's acetate and it's clear, I still don't want you seeing too much of it. So I think that will work to attach. And they're a bit higher then as well. So I'm going to add a tiny little bit of tape there. Position that one. So now, there we go. Oh, I love it. I say it all the time, but I've had so much fun making these. And then again, I'm just going to snip away any of the excess there. Okay, so now you want to just make sure, to be honest, some of them you might not have to put the foam as a bit of a track on the back. You'll need it for this tab here because you don't want this moving. It will fall inside the back otherwise like that. So we need to keep that in place in a minute. But I think these will probably be okay where they are. I think they work quite nicely. So I'm just going to flip it over. And again, you'll want to double up the foam. So I'm going to use the black. I've got tons of these black squares here. First of all, you want to make a thin little track for your pull tab here. So line it back up in there and you'll have enough space at the bottom here in the corner to just double up and add some foam there. And you'll do this on the other side. Okay, so that now will keep that in that place, so it's not going to move about too much. And then you just want to support the rest of the card, so it needs to be the same height as this piece. So that's why you've got to double up the foam. So I'm going to add a couple of layers in the corner there, like so. That's all level. And then I'm going to support each corner. Again, I'll double it all up in a second. And then kind of in the middle there so it doesn't dip. In fact, I'll just pop it in like so. There we go. That's probably going to be enough. I'll double that up again, but because some of these you can see they can move quite freely. You might want yours to stay in quite a specific place and just kind of move like this. And that's where you bring the foam in closer so that when it moves, it can only move within a certain space. So it will vary. You'll see it different on many of my videos, but this one I think we can just go with that. I think it'll be enough. Okay, so that's all the backing off. Just pinch your tab together there just so it doesn't fall out of place. Flip it over and then make sure my card's the right way up. And then just focus on getting it nice and lined up with the frame there. And then just stick your foam down there. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and just showing you another way to use the Moving Scenes die sets. You'll also find the 5x7 size as well, and check out the other stamps that you can use with this. But like I said, it also will work with lots of other things you've got in your stash. I've got some lovely sample photos using it with different things. So there's underwater theme, there's with flowers and butterflies, there's a farmyard one. So there's loads of different ways to use this as well. So I hope it gives you lots of inspiration. You'll be able to find all of the products over on the CraftStash website. And you can also find, like I said, lots more inspiration over on the Made to Surprise YouTube channel. See you all again soon. Bye.